Architectural site analysis diagrams make it much easier for both you and your client to understand the urban context around a site, building heights, street conditions, surrounding density, and how your proposal actually fits into the city. This video will walk you through how to create diagrams like this one in about 5 minutes. All it takes is access to Rhino, Grasshopper, and some image editing software like Photoshop. Good site analysis is one of the most valuable parts of architectural design, but it's often not shown very well. Showing your client diagrammatic representations of building heights and surrounding massing, building function, street hierarchy and movement, or density and urban grain can help you convince them that your proposal sits appropriately in the urban grain. At a high level, this workflow is actually pretty straightforward. We'll install the Rhino and Grasshopper plugin, pull site data into Rhino, build or use a Grasshopper setup to process that information, and export clean diagrams you can annotate and present. You don't need to manually model an entire urban context. The idea is to get useful site information into your design workflow quickly. So here's how to do it. First, you'll need to download the Cityweft plugin for Rhino. You can do this either directly from the package manager or from Food for Rhino. You can either build a Grasshopper setup yourself or start from an existing definition, which you can get from the Cityweft website. This example uses most of the available components in the plugin, and I'll walk through them now so you understand what's actually happening. At first glance, this can look complicated, but it's really just a few steps. First is the settings section. Most users can keep this as the default, as it mostly controls the roof and level settings for areas where Cityweft does not have concrete info. The geometry types value list shows which elements of the model are included, and the roof types control how many levels you'd like, and the default roof shape. If unchanged roofs will default to flat. Next is the location settings, which is mostly controlled by the CW region selector. To use this, click on the button and a map view will open. Use the search bar to find your site and rectangle tool to select your area. You can then close the dialog. In order to load models into Rhino from Cityweft, you'll need to purchase a bundle or subscription. Once you've done this, you'll be given an API key, which you'll need to paste here. To do so, go to the Cityweft platform, click on API/plugin keys, and copy and paste the token value shown here. The next section is where we actually download the model. First, give your file a name and specify the file path where you'd like the Rhino models to save. Then you can click download on the CW 3DM downloader component. Finally, toggle on preview here to see your model in Rhino. Now we can start to visually highlight site information in the metadata section. You'll see all available types of data, such as building height, building function, and street types in this list. To visualize this, type the name of the category you'd like to see here, and toggle on preview here. You may also want to toggle off preview in the previous section to make sure you can see clearly. This list shows you the values associated with this category, and the list below shows the color code. If you'd like to see this labeled, you can toggle on preview here. Now we'll look at turning this into diagrams using Photoshop. First, you'll need to set your view to an isometric standard and export images from Rhino using the export JPG command or print function. Once you've collected your images, you can move into Photoshop. Open all of the files you need, remove the white background using the color picker tool, and then collate all of your images into one file using copy and paste. You can then use the list provided in Grasshopper to get the RGB color codes and function names to make up a key to help your client understand what they are looking at. Finally, you can play around with your layers and composition to create a diagram that you're happy with. These diagrams are really easy to produce and they really help your client to understand their site and give context for the design decisions you've made down the line. Creating these with Cityweft and Grasshopper took me about 15 minutes end to end, freeing up loads of time to work on perfecting my design. Thanks very much for watching this video. Be sure to check Cityweft out next time you're starting a project like this.